Hello people, here is one tip or trick for every agent in Valorant. With Sky's Flash, if you look at your bird, both you and your opponents get blinded. But if you run with your Hawk while holding E, you don't get blinded. But your opponents do. Here's a really good Viper ult that was used in the game of C9 versus Fnatic in Berlin Champions. First, you want to have control of Kitchen. As Viper, you're going to stand at this corner right here. Aim at this light right at the center, and then cast your ult. Your ult is going to cover all of Kitchen all the way until here, and it even extends all the way until here. So what you want to do is you want to have the spike planted right there, and from here what you want to do is you want to have somebody watch Kitchen from this area over here, which is pretty much a choke point if the enemies try to enter, and have another teammate watch Rope over here. If there are any Jets who can get on top of the platform over here, you can pretty much hear them use their updraft anyways, so it's pretty much going to secure you the round. With Astra, you can go into Astral mode, and then you can put your stars on highly elevated platforms like Jenny on Ascent, like that. And if you make this into a smoke, you can stand in the middle and then go into Astral form, and the enemies won't be able to see your feet. So this is the enemy's perspective when she's standing up, you can see her feet. And that's what they see when you go into Astral form. So it's gonna give them a false sense of security that the area is safe. This tip also works on Haven C site. And a lot of other places. Good luck finding them. It's not a very good tactic, but who knows, you could use it sometime. Here's a hidden camera for Cypher on Fracture B site. By the way, I got this tip from Evox on YouTube. So what you want to do is you want to go to the corner of these two boxes right here. From this box, you want to aim your camera just to the left of that white thingy right there in the middle of those two triangles. So right there. You take out your camera, and you want to jump off this platform right at that edge, and then spam click. The camera should be right there. Now when you go into this camera, it's going to spot anybody coming up from A main. You can have perfect vision of them. And it can even guard sight in case they plant the spike and you need to retake. Also, when you go into this camera, it can perfectly see where I am, but I can't see where it is. So many people have said this trick before, but with Raze you can use your satchels to boost your boom bot forward. For example,
Satchel out.
you can also put the satchel on the boom bot itself, if you time it right. Here's another tip from Mr. Lowlander. With Yoru, you can enter the teleporter on bind. Then you can place your footsteps down here on the door of the teleporter. This is going to leave the teleporter doors open and can catch your enemies off guard if they're teleporting. This trick works on all automatic doors on bind. This also works on the door of A hall on Fracture. With Jet, if you use your regular updraft, you're not able to reach high places like this. When you jump and then updraft, you can't reach it either. The best way to get the highest elevation with Jet's updraft is by jumping and pressing the updraft button at the same time like this. So I got this tip from Rush on YouTube. Breach's ult can allow you to get into higher elevations when you jump before the ult ends, and it can help you retake a site faster. Make sure to jump at the end of the ult and not at the beginning. With Killjoy, you can hide your nano swarms in here, and it will damage anybody in hell all the way to heaven. You can also jump on top of this box next to the plant spot right here on Icebox A site. Take out your swarm, aim at the black shadow over there, throw your swarm, and it's going to be inside the box like that. And yes, it covers both sides of this box. On B side of the same map, you can also hide your swarms behind this box right here. And this box as well. There are multiple trademark hiding spots for Chamber. Like here in B-site bind, you can hide one there. And you can also hide another one here. The enemies won't be able to see them, but they can still spot the enemies. You can also go to Garden in the same map and hide them in the middle of these bushes like that. There's also this spot on B bench on Fracture.
That works.
And lastly, below this ramp on Kitchen, Icebox.
That's a good spot.
With Omen, you can use this teleport to dodge Breach's ult if you time it right.
Off your feet!
Make sure that when you're doing this, you teleport into a safe spot and not just out into the open. The most common way to flash with Phoenix is by hugging a wall and then throwing your curveball to wherever you're gonna peek next, but this isn't the best way to flash. The problem with the regular way of flashing is if you're gonna peek immediately, it might end up flashing you. Mr. Lowlander said that if you're going to flash with Phoenix, you have to stand diagonal to the angle that you're going to flash. For example, it leaves less chances to be flashed, and it gives your opponents less time to react to your flash as well. But if you want to mix it up a bit, you could also throw your flash higher like this. You also have the bounce flash, where you look at the ground, flash, and then peek. You get blinded, but only for a little bit, as compared to your opponent. If you use a regular lineup to destroy Cypher's traps or other utility, there will be no Q unless you bounce it. For example, if I fire at this regularly, the tripwires break, but you don't know if they are broken because you used the lineup. But if you bounce your arrows twice...
Trick shot.
He says trick shot. With KO in split B site, if you stand at the corner of rafters and then you aim your crosshair right at this gap right here, you take out your 0 point and throw your knife, it's going to suppress that entire area right there. You can do this at the start of the round to possibly delay a push. The center of Brimstone's ult does more damage than the sides of Brimstone's ult. For example, if I have full shields and full health and I cast Brim's ult on myself at the center,
Open up the sky.
it's going to end up killing me. But if you take the same scenario and cast the ult on myself with full shields and full health, but this time I'm on the side of the ult,
Open up the sky.
I survived. Whenever you plant the spike, it doesn't actually get planted where you are, it gets planted in front of where you are. So if you face into alley and then stand at the edge of this line right here where you can still plant the spike, look into alley, plant the spike, and the spike is going to be planted outside of the usual areas where you could plant the spike. With Sage, you can even take your wall out and place your wall in front of the spike like this. With Reyna, you should never flash like this, where it's straight in front of you. Because the problem is, if the enemy ends up breaking the eye, it doesn't take them that long to adjust their crosshair to your head level and they can get the headshot easy. You should always consider flashing higher or lower than the usual, because if the enemy does decide to break it, they have to adjust their crosshair to hit your head. And I would like to give a special shout out to Aqua. He's the one who I end up killing in this entire tutorial. So shout out to this guy. He's got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to him if you want. So anyways, that's one tip for every agent in Valorant. If you ended up enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you have any tips, tricks, or lineups, feel free to join the Discord. I'll feature them in one of my videos and I'll give you credits for it. That's about everything. Bye-bye.